So hey guys, just out here for a night ride. Just about to enter some trails. This is kind of just an update video really on my lighting system. So I made a video a couple weeks ago that I had to purchase one new front handlebar light because the battery on one of my previous lights died, and then I was hoping that the second older one that I had would continue to function for the entire winter, but that is not the case. A couple weeks later it started to go on the fritz. Seemed to be working fine. You know, the longest night rides I'd been doing are about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I was handling that, and then you know, charged them up one night and then did my ride to work, and that light died in like 20 minutes. Like, what the heck? Thinking maybe I hadn't fully charged it. Quite sure I plugged it in. So got home from work that day and then plugged it in again, and charger light turned red saying it was charging, and then went back and noticed about an hour later that it was already green. I'm like, what the heck? If it was fully discharged, it would take like 4 or 5 hours to fully charge it. So I knew something was up. So the next day, ride to work again, it only lasted about 20 minutes and it died. But I had my new light as well, so it wasn't like it was horrific or anything, because I still had 1300 lumens going. And then got home, plugged it into the charger, and it won't even charge. It just stays green. It won't even change to red saying it's charging. So I left it there thinking, okay, well maybe it is actually still doing something. But went back a few hours later and tried to plug it into my light, and nothing. No juice at all going to the light. So that battery is now cooked as well. So I mean, it makes sense that it died within a week or two of the other one, because they both got pretty much equal use. So did what I didn't want to have to do. I bought another Cygo light, Trident X Extra version in a 1300 lumen. So that's what we're rocking here on the handlebar. So we have 2600 lumens on the handlebars now. So essentially double the output of the previous setup I had on the handlebar. And then on my head, we're just running measly 350 lumens. And the replacement for the headlight that I have, the newest one, is 800 lumens. So I don't know, maybe I'll buy myself my own Christmas present and get that headlamp too, so I completely upgrade my system. But this headlamp still seems to be going. The battery seems to be going. It didn't get as much use as the handlebar ones. Like sometimes on my ride to work, I don't even bother using the headlight one. Headlight one, I feel more confident using it in actual off-road situations where I think it does provide a bit of an advantage, being able to scout ahead into turns, etc. So now I'm curious to see how long this headlight battery will survive for. So we're just going into Centennial Park and Trowbridge Falls and Cascades. So the weather has cooled off, finally getting winter-like conditions. So right now it's minus 5.6 Celsius. Wow, one thing I really noticed there, that first steep downhill we went, I initially applied the brakes and there was like very little braking performance. So I guess the pads had to get some heat into them. Interesting. So it's supposed to be consistently below freezing from the looks of it for the next little while. It's quite possible it'll be consistently below freezing now till spring. So this is my second ride today. I did a ride earlier, mid-late afternoon, just for 45 minutes on the Krampus, but I did 30 minutes of tempo riding. And this is just a ride, really just to check out the lighting system to see what 2600 lumens looks like. Looks good. Looks damn good. Almost makes my headlamp unnecessary. There's so much light now. And these handlebar ones have more than enough throw for off-road situations. It's only when you start using them on road rides in the dark, black pavement, no lighting at all, like street lighting, you start going like 30 miles an hour, 30 plus miles an hour. I found that I definitely wanted more throw, the light to be thrown further, so that's where the headlamp comes into play. Like the lens design on it is for throw. It's a narrower beam that has quite a bit of throw, so you can specifically look at specific things. So we've gotten a little bit of snow, as you see that one video of mine where I rode to work in the snow. Almost all of that is melted here in town. But you go out in the country, I'm hearing that there's still more snow out there because you move away from Lake Superior and gain elevation. So tomorrow we're going to do a ride out into the country, so it should be interesting to see how much snow is out there. We almost had the same thing happen as happened last year. It was warm, like above freezing. I wouldn't say it was warm, but above freezing. Then it rained for like almost a couple days straight. And then it was supposed to start snowing, so I was worried that it was going to be all icy underneath the snow. But it rained, and it stopped, and it was really windy, so it almost dried everything up. And then we got some snow on top of that, so it's not bad. There were still some puddles, some fairly big puddles still laying around, and they have frozen, so have to keep an eye out for that even on this ride. There will be sections of ice, but nothing like the horrific event we had last winter where it rained and then froze solid and then snowed over top of it, so there was ice under everything. So just looking to ride for an hour and a half, whatever that gets us for distance, hopefully maybe 30k. So here's a big iced up puddle. So I'm approaching 13,000 kilometers for the year, so tomorrow I should pass that. So my goal now is to try and get a little over 14,000k for the year, which will become increasingly difficult just because the conditions should get colder and colder, and what should theoretically happen is we should get weather conditions that the only bike I'll be interested in riding is my fat bike. So yeah, I'll still be able to put in the same amount of time as I normally do, but the distance I cover in that time will go down dramatically. So, you know, to get almost 1,000K in December, if it's 100% fat biking, that will be difficult to do. So it's doable, but it's challenging. So it gives me motivation to keep a steady stream of hours, riding hours coming in. So I think 14,000K, I would say it's probably the most I've ever ridden in a year, even when I was a serious bicycle racer, because fat bikes didn't exist then. So yeah, I did a little bit of winter riding, but you really can't do true hardcore riding all winter here on a regular mountain bike. It's just not possible. Too much snow usually. And so I did a lot of cross-country skiing and running. That was my winter cross training, and then indoor riding on a trainer, which those kilometers don't count on Strava. They're not real kilometers. So this year, the past winter, I was getting out, trying to get out 5 days a week. So January, February, I was still riding my bike outside 5 days a week. So it's allowed me to get a couple thousand extra kilometers than even the bike racer types here in town, the serious bike racers. Looking at most of their kilometers, and I'm ahead of them. Again, lots of them do a lot of cross-country skiing in the winter time. So it's not like they weren't doing serious training. They just weren't on a 100% cycling program like I was. So unfortunately now this is probably going to become an addiction. Now that I've got 14,000K this year, I think 20,000 next year is a attainable goal. So now we're crossing over into Trowbridge Falls. You can hear the current river raging there. It's really raging because we've had quite a bit of rain. Steep little uphill here to deal with. They finally opened that gate. That gate to get to this little hill was closed for months. Don't understand why, and now it's finally open. Yeah, and this bike has now had a full tune-up on it. So it has new cable and housing. I've changed the cassette. It's not a brand new cassette. It's actually the cassette off my Krampus, because I upgraded to that Praxis 1140 cassette on my Krampus. So that, the original cassette, which is 1136, SLX level type cassette, that had about 2,000 kilometers on it. So put it on this bike with the chain that was with the Krampus as well. So the cassette and chain have equal kilometers on it. But I have put a new chain ring on this bike. So the big ring on this bike, this is a 2x10. The big ring was a 36, and for a lot of winter riding, that's just too big, especially a 5-inch bike, heavy bike with 5-inch tires and 100mm rims. I was cross-geared tons, like in the 36 in the front and the back. So just trying to avoid dropping down to the granny, because it's friggin' annoying and slow jumping back and forth. So now I have a 33 tooth big ring up front. I actually wanted a 34, but I wanted a nice surly ring, really durable ring, and to fit this crank that I have on this bike, the surly, I think it's called the OD crank. They don't make a 34. You go from a 36 to a 33. You know, that's what my dealer told me. I better check online to make sure. That it was probably all they could get, so that's what they told me. But yeah, so it's a 33. So I'll lose some of the top end, but in the winter time, it'll be a far more usable chainring. Less likely, and again, I could run it cross geared now, 33, 36 in the back. Be less likely to ever have to drop it down into the 22 tooth up front. So this fat bike is ready to go for a good season of fat biking. Hopefully get a couple years before I have to do any other work on this thing. Looks like we got some frozen stuff coming up on us here. So I have two sets of tires for this bike. I have the original tires that came on it, the Bud and Lou, which are what I'm running tonight. And I also have 45 North Dillinger 5s, the 5-inch studded tires. So these Bud and Lou, yeah, they're like super grippy, overkill grippy, like more grip than you really need. So I'd like to eventually replace these with some faster rolling, lower rolling resistance tires. But I mean, these still have probably another solid year in them. I'm not going to replace them until they wear out. See how expensive good fat bike tires are. But the Dillinger 5s, I think, will get quite a bit of use this winter, because I'm going to really try and use my commute as my main way of staying in shape on weekdays. It's going to take like 40 minutes to get to work. We're talking like midwinter, January, where it's consistently minus 20 Celsius in the morning. It'll take 35-40 minutes to do about 12K to work, and then on the way home I'll ride for an hour, maybe even an hour and a half sometimes on the way home. So, you know, by 6 o'clock I'll already have done an hour and a half, almost 2 hours of riding 3 to 4 days of the weekdays. I won't really need to do anymore. I could do some little bit of structured work on the way home. Still do a little bit of intervals, a couple days during the weekdays to try and maintain that higher end fitness, that higher intensity fitness. So those Dillinger 5s will probably get a lot of miles on them, and there'll be some exposed pavement. So last winter didn't really affect my studs on there that much, because I didn't commute that much with it. I just did mostly off-road rides, a little bit of pavement to get to off-road riding, so I really don't have that much wear on them. But this winter I think they will get a lot of wear. There will be a fair amount of exposed pavement to deal with. So a lot of fat bike tracks here in the snow already. I follow a lot of the other local riders who fat bike on Strava, so I've already seen some of their Instagram pictures today. So one nice thing about riding like this late November, even when there isn't snow, because it's generally consistently below freezing, the ground is all hard, so there's no more mud to deal with. Mud is all frozen solid, so it's nice clean riding, and the ground's hard, so it's fast rolling. Now it's minus 6.3. I think it's supposed to get down to minus 13 tonight. So like, what am I wearing for that? So I've got my Lake 303 cycling shoes on. I don't have any fancy socks on, they're just cotton sport socks. But over top of my Lake 303s, I have Gore insulated shoe covers. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but even now I can feel a slight tinge of cold on my toes. But part of it is adapting, right? I still haven't adapted to colder temps. So yeah, regular cotton socks, Lake 303s, Gore insulated shoe covers, and then on my legs I have some hulky, well, pair of cycling shorts. Those are given. Over top of that I have a pair of Hulky, a Finnish brand of cross-country ski apparel of polypropylene long underwear, but they have a stretch windproof panel in front, covers the crotch area, which is like really important for cross-country skiing, and then goes down partway down to your shins. So nice lightweight way to get some windproofing. And then over top of that I have a pair of Segoy. They're called Sub-Zero. They're an older pair of pants. I've had them since the 1990s. They're like slightly stretchy fabric with some thermal qualities, like a really light brush fleece on the inside. I love these pants, and they're a slightly loose fit. So they're not full on tight, but they're tapered leg and everything with zippers at the bottom. I really hope to keep these pants for even another few years, but in the crotch now I have literally worn a hole in them from the friction on the seat, but it's in an area it doesn't matter because you're sitting on the seat anyways. Can't see it letting in any extra cold there. So that covers my legs. And then up top I have like a mid-weight to heavyweight polypropylene long underwear top that I got from Walmart. I tried some of the stuff from Walmart, and actually I'm quite happy with it. It's got like a waffle pattern on the inside. I don't know if that's something to do with moisture absorption, but it's been good, and it's stretchy and it's going strong, no rips, doesn't seem to be wearing out. I think it wasn't much more than 20 bucks. And then over top of that I have a Craft of Scandinavia. Hold on, it might be icy here. It's a low spot where there could be standing water, which would now be just a frozen puddle. Oh, and yeah, Craft. So it's like an insulating layer that's designed to be worn as your second layer. It's a full zip, 2-3 millimeters thick probably. I got a lot of use out of it. I've worn it more lately since I've lost quite a bit of weight, so it finally almost fits like it's supposed to. I'll never weigh, I don't think I'll ever weigh what I did when I bought it, but it pretty much fits now. And then over top of that I have a Segoy nylon jacket. That's some windproof, waterproof laminate on the inside. The jacket's really old. Again, it's from the 1990s and it's still going strong. I don't know how waterproof it is anymore, but it's certainly still windproof. I love this jacket. I've been trying to find something to replace it, but I haven't been able to find anything quite like it. So it's designed slightly oversized so that you could fit multiple layers underneath it, but it's still not like super flappy. It's extra long in the back. It's got kind of a flap to cover over your butt, like thought out so that if you're riding in sloppy conditions, at least it gives your butt some protection. Lots of reflective pinstriping on it. But it still functions, even though it's like really old. It's been through the wash a bunch of times, but it still does have some reflective abilities. It's got a full long pit zip, which is very handy. when you get that overheating feeling on, I don't know, it's like a 14-15 inch zipper, and it completely opens up. There's like no mesh or anything there to impede airflow, so it's quite handy when you're totally feel like you're overheating. I love this jacket. It's a real neutral color, kind of a gray blue with some gray and then some black on it. Never go out of style kind of color. I'd like to replace it, but I've been looking and I haven't found anything quite like it. You know, shopping here in town and looking in store, I'm sure it exists, but don't want to buy stuff online either, because I want to see it, I want to try it on, I want to know I'm going to be able to fit layer after layer underneath it. It's been a fantastic jacket, and these pants that I have on in this jacket are from the days when Segoy was just a small Canadian-owned company. I think they're owned by the same company that owns Cannondale now. And then what I have on my head, I just have an acrylic. Yeah, I'm not wearing a helmet right now, guys. Hate to tell you. An acrylic toque. It's actually a Star Wars Darth Vader. It has a Darth Vader face mask on the front. I saw it and I laughed and I had to have it. So nothing covering my face. It's not cold enough to need to cover my face. It's minus 6.3 Celsius right now. Sorry, I had to get up a fairly challenging bit of climbing there. And what's left? Just my hands. So I have a pair of gauntlet style snowmobile gloves. I think they're like 40 something bucks. They've been serving me very well. Even, they're probably overkill for now. Could have got away with a lesser glove. Now we're in the Cascades Conservation Area. This is a paved section that we're on. They paved the path. I just want to be extra careful. It's really rough. It's got it was nice and flat when they first did it, but now it's got all lumpy and bumpy, so there are low spots where water will sit. Because it's paved, it just sits there. So there could be ice sections. I'm not sure why they paved this, what their idea was to pave this. I think this is a conservation area. It goes down to a beautiful river with beautiful rapids, like giving you a beautiful nature experience. And then they go and pave this bit of trail. Maybe not quite even 2 kilometers, not even 1 kilometer of it, I think, paved. Now we're back on the dirt. Take a picture for Instagram of that. Gotta wait for my phone to boot up. I shut the power off when it's cold like this, because when the power's on and it's cold, it just drains the battery like crazy. I wanted take a lot of pictures this winter for my Instagram account, but once we get to the true winter weather and temperatures, it's going to be hard. When I bring my phone, usually within 20-30 minutes it completely shuts itself off. It just gets too cold. I couldn't even use it in a safety scenario even if I wanted to, because it's too cold. I had a scary situation happen last winter. An emergency medical situation where my phone was frozen and I had to call an ambulance and couldn't. Now I gotta add all the frickin' tags. Frickin' takes for frickin' ever. Even though it has the little list of previously used tags, it still takes a frickin' while. It's freaking annoying. Freaking social media addiction. So we're gonna start heading back. We're basically at our halfway point. Heading back towards home. We may actually have to do a little bit of riding behind the LPH to get my hour and a half. A little bit of single track. I don't know if you can hear that, but you can hear the Cascades to the left of us, maybe 100 meters away. Raging rapids. Yeah, I'm ready for snow. Bring on the snow. Bring on 2-3 feet of it. Looking forward to some real winter fat wagon. Tire pressure could be lower, especially for this really rooty stuff, but just keeping it reasonably firm because we want the bike to be stupid slow over the really hard pack stuff. It's mostly fairly smooth hard pack stuff we're dealing with today. And it has gotten rooty through here. In fact, I bet you on Strava you can set a faster time in the winter time through here than you probably could in the summertime. I bet you. I'm going to try and go for the Strava segment here this winter. The tree down. Yeah, like there's not much trail maintenance that goes on in here. Like cities should come and cut that tree, but they don't. It'll stay there till the citizen does it themselves. There's a bunch of them down in the Cascades, and a buddy of mine came through and cut them. Like this tree here, he cut it last winter because the city never came through here. This is a city park we're in now. Okay, now we're getting into a area that's usually wet and mossy and grody and super rooty. Make a nice picture. Nice riding picture. There's almost no cell service here, so we'll have to try and upload that one once we get to some better service. So yeah, this isn't fun to ride anytime during the summer because it's all muddy through here. And right now I can see standing water that's going to be all icy. So we'll probably end up having to walk through here. But in the wintertime, once this all fills in with snow, it never totally fully gets awesome in here because there's actually quite a bit of overbrush here, so it doesn't get mega amounts of snow in here, but it becomes much more rideable, much more fun. Okay, well there I stopped, so now I'm definitely starting to feel coolness. I'm sweaty and I stopped generating excess heat. Now I start feeling cold. Time to generate some excess heat again. And another huge log down here. This one will be hard to get rid of. You'll need a chainsaw to get rid of that guy. It's fun to ride in here in the wintertime, but you have really good snow coverage. But well, if you had tons of snow this winter, yeah, you'll be able to ride over that and make a snow ramp over it, but we'll need tons of snow to do that. you know what? We could take a couple cool photos on the little railway line that they have here. Take a cool photo on the little railway line. So at Centennial Park they have like a little kids railway line. Not sure if they even still use it. I think they still do. But we'll be able to take a picture on it. It'll look like I was on some railway line, dangerously standing on the railway. Okay, this is the old railway line here. Not the old railway line, this is the railway line they use for the little kids. So it's going to look like we're being bad and on a railway. We're not. Still only friggin' couple bars of service here. That's pretty friggin' lame. Have to stop and change the battery. Got hour 15, hour 20 minutes out of that battery, because once the temperature gets below freezing, battery life on the GoPros definitely goes down dramatically. We got a couple really steep switchbacks to deal with here. The kind of steepness I don't want to deal with after already doing a moderately hard workout today. It's the first one. And the second one. This one's actually steeper in the middle, but it's shorter. Alright, pretty much forgot I was making a vlog there, but we're almost home.